Okay, I'm very happy tonight to welcome actress and producer Kaiti Wallen. How are you, Katie?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the show. I'm very happy to welcome you this afternoon. I was reading about your work, filmography, and past interviews, and I read that you started to be interested into modeling and acting at an early age. What can you tell me about your early interest?
So, funny enough, it actually started with my mom bringing me and my little sisters to a mall, and there was a fashion show that you could sign your kids up for I want to say it was like a Macy's kind of thing, and
Yes.
it was like wedding attire, so like flower girls and then sorry, it was then like bathing suits and all this stuff. So my mom, funny enough, just signed us up for fun and we did it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so cool. Like just the whole experience and being backstage and how everybody works and getting up on stage and only having 15 seconds of time of you being all dressed up. But like backstage, it takes forever for everybody to get going. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yes. And in which part of the states you grew up?
Oh, I grew up. I grew up in the Midwest. I'm from
Mhm.
Metro Detroit area. The
Mhm.
area specifically it's called Washington Township, but it's just outside of Romeo, where
Mhm.
most people know that's where Kid Rock grew up.
Mhm. And tell me about steps, you took after, being like a fan of acting, modeling. What were your first professional steps into the entertainment business?
In the entertainment business. So when it comes to the film stuff, my older sister actually was going to film school when I was like 12 or 13 years old. And what was cool was that she was out in California sometime and she was in Michigan with some of her schooling, but there was a time when she had to like make her thesis and she had brought me under her wing and really just had me be a part of the whole process from helping at the casting table to like the sign up and watching these auditions to watching these people become the characters and just seeing how it all kind of unfolds. And I have to say I was intrigued, but I thought it was a lot of fun too. But it was one of those things where I never actually expected it to be something that I could see as a career for myself. Um, and
Yes.
that and that wasn't until later. And gosh, like 6, 7 years later. But when my sister had like moved to LA to do work because after she graduated and did all her stuff, she moved out to LA. I got more involved in the modeling only because it was kind of what I already knew, and it was easier that way. But what also was so cool was I after graduating high school, I bartended while I was in college. So what you don't
Mhm.
realize is bartenders kind of meet everybody, you know?
For sure.
So
Yes.
it's just getting social with people, talking to people, and like meeting people in the entertainment industry, and
Mhm.
seeing that this is actually possible, you know?
Mhm. Yes, parties as well. I visited New York, Los Angeles, Miami, during festivals to cover them. And most of the time, you meet people during the parties, if the
Yeah.
reception or a party during, or sometimes some companies host a special reception, stuff like that.
Yes. Yes. You
So,
don't realize it though, too. It's how small of a world it really is because, especially like Detroit, people don't, I mean, now I feel like people are becoming more aware of how much more engaging and exciting the city is. Like it's grown so much and like there's so many great things that we have to offer. But it
yeah.
took time for us to get here. And you don't think that like, oh, there are people who actually come and visit Detroit, whether it's to, watch a basketball game or a football game. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely a thriving city, and I love being a part of being raised here and raising our children here.
Mhm.
I like it here.
Great. Tell me, do you remember when you were first noticed? Of course, you started to be published maybe on Facebook, Instagram. You're modeling maybe on some magazine, newspapers. I don't know,
Yeah.
websites. You remember when you were first noticed and someone offered to you like a role, especially you started to do, a sequence of short films.
So I think
Hmm.
for me, what was fortunate was that when I met my husband, he was already kind of in the industry and he was already pursuing being a part of it. So I was like, let's do this. Let's see what happens. And we have fortunately been able to like snowball that into doing multiple projects and putting us in places where we are able to have these conversations and get these opportunities. So I think really the biggest thing is when it comes to, you know, people noticing or people deciding, is finding a way to get content out of yourself and sharing it. Because if people see like, oh, she's that type, like that's cool, I could totally see her in this role, and then they call you up and say, hey, based on what I seen from what you've shown, I think you could be a great fit for this. I mean, that kind of stuff is huge now because, you know, our industry is ever changing, and what we have an opportunity with, you know, social media is that we can share stuff that people can see from all over the world. So I mean, I really just say share that content that you can make, and someone will see it and say, hey, this person is perfect for this character.
Yes. Your husband, he's an actor and producer, Harley Wallen. I
Yes,
see that he began before you as an actress,
yes,
right?
we did. Hmm.
So tell me what was her guidance for you when you getting started?
When I got started,
Yeah.
so I jumped in so deep so fast, and I
Mhm.
realized real fast that I did not know much, and I had to first I had to accept the fact that I'm not as good at this as I should be. So I need to step my game up. So I started looking at getting an acting coach, and I'm so fortunate for him. His name's Jerry Hayes. He's awesome. I still
Mhm.
like our daughters are working with him. My husband is really great friends with him. He's such a good person. He's like family at this point. But to have people in your corner that are willing to give you the constructive criticism that you need to help you and
Mhm.
help you be better, right?
Mhm.
So it's, I mean, just doing what you can with what you have available, and having these conversations with people to really even understand that, hey, like there's a way for you to do this. You just got to figure it out through what you know and what you have available.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, for me, I mean, that's kind of how it was for me, is I just felt that I needed to grow. And with that comes growing pains, right? So you have to live and learn. You're going to make mistakes. There is going to be a role that you're not going to be crazy about, and you probably won't even want to watch it when, you know, it comes out. Like you don't want to watch the movie because you know, like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I could have done it like that,
Yes.
right? But no, it's a living and learning process and figuring it out based on who you know and what you have available to you.
Mhm. But tell me, did you start to get your acting coaching after you started to do the early shorts or before them?
I after that actually we did the short films. We did our short films first, and that was where my learning really kind of started, because when you watch yourself, it is so different than when you're in it, right? And it can be hard, it can be challenging. And to understand, like, okay, what does real acting look like? The truth about real acting is you're not acting, you're being. And that's the only thing that I can really say about it, is being able to let go of that third eye and just letting go and just doing your thing and just hoping. I mean, you got to do the research, you have to do the prep, but you have to let all that go as soon as you get on set, right? But it
Mm.
requires you to see where your weak points are and to understand too, like, all right, I can see that I need to do better at this because this right here kind of shows. One thing about film is that you do see all of that stuff. Like you can read somebody's soul when you watch them, when you're looking in their eyes when they're on camera. So it's very challenging, but hey, you put the work in, it'll make it worth it.
Yes. Do you remember your early challenges in front of the camera?
Being on camera, funny enough,
Mhm.
and that's a fun it's funny because at first, like I was into modeling first, and I knew how to be on camera when it came to
Mhm.
modeling, but I did not know how to be on camera when it came to acting. And you have to figure that out too. You just got to let it go. You can't, because my biggest thing is when the camera is right in front of your face and you're really not supposed to look at the camera. Okay, where the heck am I supposed to look? right?
Yeah.
So you're like always kind of like fighting that, but you're at the same time like, all right, I need to be in character. I need to be able to understand and navigate where I got to go in this scene. But it's difficult too when you're not understanding where the camera's placed or why it's that close. But yeah, for me it was that. But it's I mean, you figure it out.
Yeah. And then you started to work with your husband co-producing your films, right?
Yes.
hmm So can we say that you are both working in the independent environment, right?
Yes. Yes, big time.
So what can you tell me about the difficulties of the indie production right now?
Oh,
I mean, writing and then producing and then distributing. What can you tell me about the different difficulties in each process of the film?
yeah. So we live in a very different time when it comes to filmmaking now because we have access to being able to watch something at any given time and place just on our phones or on our computers, right? And streaming platforms have changed the way that movies are being made. And that's
Mhm,
evident. Now, for the longest time, I've kind of felt like it's been really freaking hard. And well, first off, being an independent filmmaker is not for the weak. And I
mhm,
will tell you this right now, I wouldn't recommend you do it unless you are absolutely certain that this is what you want to do because you are never done working. You are always working. You are your stability. You are the one putting the food on your table. You have to be the one to make these hard decisions that require you to put the film first. And sometimes people don't even understand that. But especially as an independent filmmaker, you have to put the film first. It can't be
mhm,
because your best friend's in it. It can't be, you know what I mean? My my biggest thing with all of it is whether you're writing or you're directing or you're producing is
mhm,
what you are able to do with the people that you have around you. Being able to put together a solid team that you can trust that is going to be there for you that will help you when stuff gets rough because it does happen. Like you are going to find that it is every movie is basically duct taped together. I hate to say
mhm,
it like that, but like you literally have curveballs thrown at you all the time and you have to be able to just go with it and figure out what you got to do and make it the best that you can with what you have available in those given circumstances. And
mhm,
sometimes it's very scary what you put on camera and you're just praying that it works, you know?
mhm,
But
mhm,
with writing, I mean, having a good team around you, like I said, to be able to use as a soundboard and being able to have them understand the story and if they can see any plot holes, because I, what I've found is that most writers are actually very sensitive about people reading their stories until they feel it's right. And
Yes.
that's a scary thing because you are so absorbed in the story that you don't really know what you're missing because you're so in it that when you
Mhm,
have a separate set of eyes look at it, they're completely fresh. They don't have any baggage. They're just reading the story like it's brand new. And they're able to identify moments like, hey, that doesn't make any sense there. Is that character really the character for that kind of response? Or there's a plot hole here. Maybe you should consider looking at. And then when it comes to producing, I'm telling you, it is it is duct taped together, right? This movie is duct taped together. You
mhm,
working with locations, finding the right locations, knowing people, connecting with the right people to help you find these locations. Because the difference with independent and studio is that independent really doesn't have a lot of money. So
mhm,
they have to make do with what they have and they try to do the best that they can with what they have available. At least
mhm,
that's how I am with it, right? So when we're doing this, I always say, let's shoot for the best. And if we can find it, that is awesome. If we can't, we'll have to figure something out with something that could make it look the best. So
yes.
if you have a location that's a police station, find a police station, get a hold of some local police station, get a hold of some local, communities that have a small, police station that they would be willing to allow you to shoot at, you know,
Mhm,
become friends with these people and engage with them and get them involved. And I'll tell you, especially when you live in an area where filmmaking is not really like unique, right? So like here in Michigan, we do have a community, but it's obviously not LA, right?
mhm,
So we are
mhm,
able to make movies for far less than what you can in LA. And we are
mhm,
able to have access to locations that are superb, that are thousands of dollars if you were to film it in LA, but you get it to like little to none here in Michigan. So
Mhm.
it's about connections. It's about reaching out to people and you know, seeing what you can make happen with what you have available, and really getting a team that believes in what you're doing. I think that is huge, because you got to all be running in the same direction with this project, right?
Mhm. So basically, you produce action and horror films together with your
Yeah.
husband?
Yeah, there's
Mhm.
psychological thrillers, horror films.
Yes, very good. Yeah, I want to know about the challenges of distributing the films. I mean, you got the film, you finished, ready to go.
Yeah.
Uh, what do you do, for distribution? Because in the old days, I work in distribution in theatrical in the
Yeah.
90s, American films in cinema, in multiplexes in Egypt, my
Nice.
country. And then came DVD, came Blu-ray, came the straight to VHS and straight
Yes.
to DVD and cable, of
Yeah.
course. HBO started and stuff, and later Netflix. Tell me about the process right now about distributing your film.
So with us being independent, every project is different, right? I mean, and
Mhm,
with us, we are now starting to be recognized by some bigger studios and bigger networks that are noticing the quality of the projects and are
mhm,
really interested in us. But for the longest
mhm,
time, it's taken us a long time to get here, I gotta say, because it is as independent as you can be. So when it comes to like distribution, you know, you kind of, first off, you've got to read the contracts. You have to understand these contracts and what you are giving up, because there are so many distributing companies that will tell you that they're able to do this and this and this, but then they have all these hidden fees and make it nearly impossible for you to really make any money, because you're basically paying them a ton of money for them to rep your film. So
mhm,
that's the biggest thing. And when you're dealing with distributors, you got to look them up. You got to ask, you got to look at the projects that they have on their IMDb Pro or their IMDb, whatever, and just get a hold of some of the people that they've worked with and just see like, hey, what are your thoughts on this distribution company? Like what do you think I should like know about them before I make a decision to work with them? And more than likely, they're willing to talk to you about it, because they also, if they've been screwed over, they'll share it with you. And if they haven't and they had a good experience, they'll want to share that with you, right?
mhm,
But as far as getting distribution, I mean, you really kind of, it's the whole thing of knowing people, right? But also, like, if you go on IMDb Pro, you can look up distribution companies and see like what's related, like look for films that are relatable to your film, and say, hey, these people might like consider these people as a good fit. Then reach out to them and say, hey, I would love to send you a screener of this project if
mhm,
you would be interested in repping it. And it
mhm,
sucks doing it that way, because you know you'll send out 100 of these and only 2 respond, right?
mhm.
If you're lucky. So
Yeah.
at least in the beginning. And then
Mhm,
after that, these people will start hearing about you, or they'll see something and they'll be curious and they'll reach out to you. We have, you know, we have distribution companies that reach out to us often that are saying, hey, you know, we'd be interested in this project. We'd love to rep it, which is great. But we want to make sure that wherever our project goes, we want it to be the right fit. And we want to make sure that we give it as, you know, highest of chance of success as possible. So we really try to do our homework in that. But getting it at festivals is huge, because if you can get it at a festival, you get eyes on it, you get people talking about it, you know, and you might even find distribution at these festivals. So there's that too.
Especially if you go to like a thematic festival, a horror festival,
Hmm.
a detective festival. There are a bunch of them in the States and also in Europe, like Deauville and Cognac. In
Yeah.
France, they screen thrillers and detective films and horror
Hmm.
sometimes. I know there is a horror film as well. A friend of mine, he's from Romania. He does it in Transylvania, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. So do you think do you think you have like a dream project you would like to realize as an actress
As an
or a
actress,
producer?
yes.
Yes. What do you have?
So I am like always in dramatic roles. I find them
Mm-hmm,
fun, but I would love to be either in like some kind of action flick like Salt or
mm-hmm,
something along the lines of like a Cameron Diaz style movie where it's like a rom-com, funny, can be a little
mm-hmm.
raunchy but funny. Because I mean I do have a sense of humor.
Yes. Yeah, she did a very nice film with Will Smith. I don't know if you seen it. He was a superhero. It was what was it called? It was a comic film. I don't
Okay.
remember the name
I'll have to
right
look it up.
Yeah, yeah, it's a nice film as a comedy, and of
Mhm.
course she does. Recently, she did a lot of action on her own.
Yeah.
You know, Charlize Theron,
Yeah.
and as well in her early career, she did a lot of dramatic role, romantic role as well with Keanu Reeves.
Mhm.
So yeah, but do you have? I mean, like a script you think you and your husband like to do, but it needs like a big budget.
There's quite a few of those. There's this one, it's called Peculiar Mind of Peter Strauss. It
Mm-hmm,
is such a cool script. It's
mm-hmm,
a psychological thriller, mystery, suspense for sure, but it's so
mm-hmm,
like twisted and it's one of those ones that you really have to pay attention to because there's so many moving pieces. Which is a lot of fun because I love those. I love intellectual scripts. I love the scripts that really make you think. I love the
mm-hmm,
scripts that are, you question your morals, because you're just like, oh my gosh, like you see this person do something, you're like, yeah, I totally could have done that, but obviously it's probably not the right thing to do. I love
mm-hmm,
those kinds of things where it really just kind of takes you out of yourself and really makes you wonder about certain things and in
mm-hmm,
answering certain things even about yourself, right? Because I feel every character that I play, I grow as a human because I'm, stepping into them and go and live in their world and then I have to step out of that and I got to, assess that whole situation and what that was and be able to process it and come full circle with whatever the situation was with the character.
Okay. Do you want some recommendation of psychological thriller you can see with your husband?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. Sea of Love, Al Pacino.
Oh, Al Pacino. We love Al Pacino.
Sea of Love, Al Pacino.
Uh-huh.
There is a film called Whispers in the Dark. In the
Okay.
90s, it was made Annabella Sciorra.
Yeah.
Okay. You can watch Basic Instinct.
Love
You,
Basic Instinct. That movie is
you
awesome.
can watch The Last Seduction.
Okay. I haven't
Linda,
not heard of that one.
you should watch films by John Dahl, the director. The
Okay.
Last Seduction, it was Linda Ferrentino,
Mm-hmm.
and you can watch Red Rock West, Nicolas Cage, Dennis Hopper, and Lara Flynn Boyle, also John Dahl. John Dahl, he revived the neo noir, reminiscent of the detective
Mm-hmm.
films of the 40s, the black and white detective classic films.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what else I can recommend? Yeah, you can watch this. And also, there was a film by William Friedkin with Linda Ferrentino as well. Same writer
Okay.
of Basic Instinct, Joe Estirhaz. It's called Jade. Jade.
Jade.
Jade with Linda Ferrentino and David Caruso. He
David Caruso.
from NYPD Blue, and he did, of
Okay.
course, later Miami,
Mm-hmm.
the Miami Detective television series. So these are a bunch of very good films, classic noir, psychological thriller, to get
That is my
inspired.
weak spot. That is my weak spot right there. I love all of that. I love the dark, gritty stuff that's real and raw, and it just makes you kind of like these people are human beings.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. I love when I see people that are flawed because we're all flawed. It's
Hmm.
relatable.
Hmm. Yes. And I used to love an actress. Her name is Teresa Russell.
Mm-hmm.
She did a lot of nice films in the 70s and the 80s. And she had two films. One of them is called Impulse, and the
Impulse.
other film you should watch it because the two characters are women. It is
Okay.
Teresa Russell and a very good actress from the early 80s and 90s, Deborah Winger. They have a film together called Black Widow. And I think you will enjoy it a lot, this one.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that one out.
Black Widow, Teresa Russell and Deborah Winger. Uh, I want to ask you as well. Uh, I think indie films. I think you do a lot of things. I mean, you are producing. You could check up the sound. You can check the location. You can do a lot of things behind in front of the camera,
Oh yeah.
and so you can wrap the project, right?
Yeah.
hmm And you produce most of your film in Michigan.
Yes. Yes. All of our shooting is in Michigan.
hmm
We don't have like a studio, but there's
hmm
reason. We prefer
Yeah.
to shoot on location. So what we do is like if we need a courthouse, we find a courthouse. If we need a jail cell, a prison, we'll find that.
hmm
And like, any of the locations we just try and find, and we try to keep them close to each other. Lately we've been shooting a lot in Flint, Michigan, which is
Yes.
awesome because the community has just gone above and beyond for us and have been so supportive and so helpful and just so excited about being a part because, it's Flint, right? A lot of
Yeah.
people really think of Flint as like this, dark underbelly city that has lost its luster, but I'm telling you, it is back on the map.
Yes, but the taxes are better than Chicago, let's say, and I
Yes.
mean for shooting
Mm-hmm.
and scouting location, this is very good.
Definitely.
Do you think there is a community of indie production around you?
Yeah.
Besides, yeah.
We have a strong independent community here, and
Mhm,
especially like not I mean, I can't really say this because the funny thing is I always think that I know everybody around here, but I always meet somebody new that's making movies and I'm like, oh my gosh, how have I not heard of you? So like you're
mhm,
always still meeting new people. It's happening around us. You just got to like look for it. But yeah, no, like a lot of it is in the Metro Detroit area. Obviously, it's like the more populated part of Michigan, but you have stuff in Grand Rapids, you got stuff in Lansing, you got stuff in Traverse City. I mean, you got stuff in Bay City, you have stuff in
mhm.
Flint, right? I mean, it's happening. It's just, these communities are kind of trying to find themselves.
Excellent. And I want to ask you, your films or films from the community, they
Mhm.
got the chance to get some theatrical release,
Yeah,
or
we've had a couple of them get that.
yeah, in around you or in different part of the states as well.
Well, some of them have been like around us. Most of
Mhm,
it is Midwest.
mhm,
It's because it's regional.
mhm,
It depends. I mean, we've had it, multiple cities. Some of them will just do like main cities, like they'll do Chicago, they'll do Detroit, they'll do New York,
mhm,
but they do like a couple of theaters in, depending because you're getting a limited theatrical. But
mhm.
it's nice. I mean, if you can get that, if you can swing that. The thing though about now is I mean, theatrical doesn't make as much money as it used to when comes to like
For sure.
streaming being a big thing now, right? So,
Yeah.
finding those opportunities, it's huge if you get
Mhm.
yourself in a good spot.
Yes, I used to work in Egypt in the office of 20th Century Fox when
Oh
Titanic was
wow.
released.
Yeah,
Yeah, when Titanic was released, and Titanic was huge. We did a premiere for the media,
yeah.
and then it exploded as well before it Braveheart with Mel Gibson.
Hmm.
And I don't think a film, like Titanic will be repeated. I mean, box office wise,
Yeah.
because I see that the lifetime of films right now is quite shrink. Like I see a movie on YouTube, there is a trailer, and then the movie is released in cinema, and
Yeah.
then in less than 2 weeks it's online. I mean,
Oh
on
yeah.
Amazon, something like that. So
So
I think the cinemas. I think it is shrinking business. I don't know. I feel it. I don't know why. And
yeah, well,
yeah.
it's changing, and that's the thing when I was saying earlier is like streaming platforms have become huge and
Mhm.
you don't really have as many. I mean, the big movies are in the theaters, right?
Yes.
And
Hmm.
most of them are there because they're trying to push people to go to the theaters again,
Yeah,
because streaming has become so big,
of
right?
course.
And with
Yes, yes.
that, there's a lot more content available, which means that these platforms need the content, because guess what? That movie's gonna not be as like they need to keep watching something, right? And the way that it used to be was that you had, X amount of big studios that were making these movies and distributing them, but there's only so many. Now it's like they're everywhere. You can make a movie
Mhm.
anywhere, and it's easy to get your stuff out there than it has ever been.
Yes. I see you have a lot of upcoming projects between post-production and filming, right?
Yes.
What can you tell us?
So we are actually going to be going to a premiere for our movie Fathers that releases at the beginning of June.
Hmm.
That is one, and we're really excited about that one because it is a very different approach to going about certain things, and you'll see. You definitely need to take a look at it and watch it.
Hmm.
It's not, I can't give too much away about it because
Hmm.
that defeats the purpose. You need to go check it out.
Hmm.
But then we just wrapped one called Blur that we are currently in post production with, and we're working on that, and we're also in pre production of another. And it seems like you're almost in each step, in each phase, for like three different projects at the given time. It keeps you busy, which is great.
Yes, great. Okay, Katie, I wish you all the best.
Thank you for having me. This was great.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. It was a very insightful talk. I
Yeah.
hope it helped as well, writer, director, producers, about for their upcoming projects. And next time, I hope I can receive you with your husband as well in together in
Oh,
live.
yes, definitely.
Okay,
Have to do
say
that
hi to
next.
Harley from my end.
Hmm.
And I wish all the best in the upcoming projects. And
Thank you.
when you like to talk, feel free to come to speak about your project in my channels. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. You have a good one.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
And we